Yes,
Hey,
she's our
everybody.
queen.
Welcome back. It's been a while since I've
Hey
seen you.
guys.
The girls have been carrying on without me because I've been traveling, and now I'm coming to you from Dallas, from the Abilities Expo in Dallas,
Woohoo!
but I couldn't
Yes.
stay away from my girls. So, as the last show of 2024, we are doing an open forum for everybody. So, we're going to do our complaints, our bitch session, and our gratitudes. So, what's
Yes.
good,
Absolutely.
what's bad in your world? Type them in the comments and we will address them. And otherwise, we will just bitch and be grateful among ourselves because God knows we've lived the life.
That's
So,
right.
Wow.
just now we were talking about the what's wrong with hotels and accessibility. And I have to say, in the hotel I'm in, it's pretty good. But why is it that when they have a handheld shower thing, no one ever leaves it down? It's
Yeah.
always way up there. I mean, I stay in hotels, what, about twice a month, maybe, for 3 or 4 days at a time. I have never yet gone into a hotel and seen it down for a wheelchair
Mm.
user. That's not even expensive. It doesn't cost anything. You just got to inform your housekeeping staff, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know
but that's
why
it.
they're so high to begin with. It's like does not
Yeah,
make sense. How
I
are the
think it's
beds where you're staying? Are
Say
they
what?
super
the
high?
bed looks pretty
The
good.
beds. Yeah.
Yes, this is the Renaissance in Dallas, and it's nice because it's just right across the driveway from the actual convention center. So if anybody is in the Dallas area, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just like every other expo, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, admission is free. And Thursdays are my favorite days of the expo because everybody's moving in and just
Mm.
relaxed and shooting the breeze, and it's nice. It's nice.
That's nice.
But I just came from Connecticut. I don't know how people do wheelchairs in the snow.
Wow.
It's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, I've seen some adaptive equipment for the snow for people that live and have to do it. That there are ways that they adapt their chairs or they have tires
Yeah.
or something. But yeah, I'm going to New York next week, and I'm hoping the snow is done. I'm hoping, according
Mm.
to the 10-day forecast, it's supposed to be cold as hell, but
Yeah.
not snowy or wet. It's supposed to be, just a little cloudy and I mean, I think that's another thing. I mean, everybody wants good weather when they travel, but when you
Yes.
have an impairment, especially a mobility impairment, it becomes sort of a make or break situation, right? So if you were in
Yeah,
snow
that's
in
true.
Connecticut, you're kind of stuck with what is going on. We're so much more immobilized by the weather than people that can use their
Hmm.
limbs all for their
Yeah.
limbs effectively. So I always now I'm like, oh, please, weather, the gods of the weather, please be kind when I travel.
And the cold too. It doesn't have to be raining or snowing. When it's so cold that your hands are frozen stiff, it makes it really hard to push. And I don't know about you, other quads out there. My neck starts to hurt. I mean, really, really bad. Like it almost feels like they're breaking it again, kind of a
I
feeling
Yeah.
from the cold. So
does
always
your
a scarf.
Yeah, does your hands have your hands? So, and I don't know. Now I read interesting thing about aging, so that we are all aging and all the time. There are critical periods of aging that, like, it is like a big leap, and one I think is 40 and one is 60.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I don't know if it's because I have my little dog and I'm pushing 2 to 4 miles a day to walk him. I mean, I have a power assist, so it's not
Hmm.
just me. But my hands, man, the cold that we've had I mean, I'm out there in the morning, so it's 47. My
Yeah.
hands are so, I'm like, is it arthritis? Is it like, what is going on with my hands? Numbness, coldness. I got to go get x-rays
Hmm.
of them. But I'm like, I cannot lose what I've got with my hands.
Yeah.
Like, that is going to, like, I don't know. Anybody, do you experience any of
It's
the
a
hand stuff?
combination. I noticed a change in my hands starting kind of end of last year. getting stiffer and more pain and more nerve pain at night and all of that. And I mean, I'm pretty much doing the same things. And then earlier this year, I developed a cyst right here in my palm. And,
Oh,
they had done x-rays. It showed no arthritis, no breaks, no tears. Then when I finally got to the ortho guy, it was a cyst that was just killing me. I couldn't even push anymore
oh,
until we went in and they did the steroid shots, which hurt like hell. But it's better. The cyst went away. The movement in my hand is much better.
oh,
Um, yeah, because I was getting trigger finger too. So, and I'd even
yeah.
have to straighten the finger out by myself. So,
Ow.
yeah, I think it's a combination of aging and overuse, and the
And
cold really
how old
doesn't
are
work.
you, if you don't mind sharing, Michelle?
I'm 57.
Okay. I just turned, I
Mhm.
just turned 60.
Yeah.
And I'm 64.
You are
Um,
not 64.
Two things I found, because I
So,
had bad
a liar,
arthritis
liar,
in
pants
my
on
hands,
fire.
because I was a massage therapist in my previous life. So all of that
Oh, yeah.
arthritis, terrible arthritis. And for me, what worked is I gave up gluten, and within 10 days after giving up gluten, my arthritis was gone. Has not come
Huh.
back.
All
That's
Wow.
right.
one. Then two, for the stiffness and the trigger finger, I started putting CBD cream on my hands. Took it right away.
I
Everybody's
slather
different. This is
myself in
just me.
CBD at night.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know. I will look at the CBD creams and stuff
Yeah.
because I am pushing more. My hands are really thin, but like as a
Hmm.
quad, I have no thumb muscles.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Or
I
index.
mean
You wear
that's
gloves?
common. Like I go, I'm a quad. Look, I don't have thumb muscles.
That's right.
So
That's the sign there.
You're a
that's the
quad in
sign.
disguise. Do
I
you wear
guess.
gloves, Ellen?
I do. I haven't for a while because I have the power assist, but I noticed that when the last few days I've gone out, I put mittens on. I'm like, oh, much better. So yeah, I've decided I've got to get a good set of gloves. They're on my Christmas list for Santa. Santa, I'd like a
Yeah.
really good set of gloves, full thumb, full pointer finger,
Yeah,
but open
because
other
Yeah.
finger.
in Connecticut, I had my wheelchair gloves with, the short fingers, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, but no, 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 freezing.
Yeah.
So I borrowed a pair of all the way gloves, much, much better.
Okay, good to
Mm.
know.
Because I
Yeah,
tried isotoners right one time, but they were so tight, and my
Yeah,
fingers
no.
are weak, so I could not get my hands in them. So give them away. Hmm.
so if anybody knows some good gloves out there, I know there are some new ones, some good wheelchair gloves that can push and stuff, but I think that the adaptive equipment and the life hacks are so important now that we get, but
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
and I was just talking to somebody and newer injury, is going through it. It's not quite even been a year, but they're at the Brown Center at the CSUN, the COA, the Center of Achievement.
Hmm.
They're looking at getting their first car, and I said, get a van or an adapted vehicle that you can wheel into. And it's like, but I can get in and out of a car. And I'm like, yes, you
Oh, yeah.
can. But you know what? Your daily life should not be a chore. Like every
Exactly.
adaptive thing that you can do to make your daily acts of living, your activities of daily living easier, then you have
Hmm.
more time and energy to do the things of fun, of living, the real living
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I'm like, don't, yeah, but me. I've been in the chair 40 years and I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
you'll be tired and you'll be like, oh, I need to go get this. Then you'll be like, yeah, but I got to get in the
Yeah.
car, break
Never
apart the
Yeah.
mind. I'm not
chair.
going. I'm living
And
Yeah.
without
then so
it.
you just don't go. And I go, it's
Hmm.
if you know that you just have like with my Scion, I just wheel in, lock down, go. So yeah, you know what? I gotta take my kids somewhere, go to the grocery store. It's
Hmm.
like anybody else who wants to do it, but
Yeah.
it's not that extra level of oh crud.
Hmm.
There's all this that comes with it. So I'm hoping,
Especially if it's raining too. It's like you get all
oh,
soaked by the time you get in your car.
and get the chair
You're
out and
filthy,
put it
putting
it's
your
like
chair in. Yeah, all of
I
that.
did
And
it
I
for
think
15
And
years. I was
and you
crazy.
need to save your shoulders
Yes.
because
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
28 years
I
into it, and my right shoulder is shredded.
yeah.
No.
So
I haven't checked my
I think
shoulders. I don't have too much shoulder pain. My hands are
mm,
the thing right now. So I'm
hmm
knock on wood, knock wherever wood is. Somebody knock on wood. But hot wax. Oh yes, Marianne, thank you so much. That is on my Christmas list too.
oh, the
Gloves and the
paraffin.
hot wax, or you put your hands in the hot wax and
Hmm.
then you keep them in there. that was on my Christmas list. If my kids are
That
So
listening,
feels
that's something
good.
you get for your home.
yeah,
You
you get
smoke
them for the
crack,
home, and you
your
put your
hands.
hands in it, and it cover and also helps with calluses and makes your hands nice and soft and smooth.
Mhm.
For
I've had it
that,
done in a salon, and it just feels so good.
yeah, they
So they
have them
put
for the
the
home.
wax in a plastic bag, and then a warm towel, and you sit there for, oh my God, and it just feels wonderful once they take it all off. But
Yeah,
then
it's
you
so
go
nice.
out and continue to push, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Going
but it's
back to the
nice.
vehicle thing, I think in the beginning, we're kind of trying to prove to ourselves that we can do it. So,
Yeah.
so we do more challenging things just to know, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I can do it. I can learn to do it. You're not thinking about the future and pain and the shoulders. Um, and minivans aren't cool. So I think everybody wants the
No,
cute
I think
car to
they're
drive
great.
around. Oh, I
And
I
now
know.
they're
yeah.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Let's say welcome
Yeah.
to Paul. Paul DeWolf is with us. He's new, or they're new. Trying to use pronouns. And Sean, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that we get that power assist, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm not having to grip the wheel. I'm gripping the rim
Yeah.
now. I always wore them when I had to grip the wheel because I could never
Yeah.
just grip the rim. But
Hmm.
I think the more we protect and the more we, think ahead on our shoulders, like I think everybody in a manual share should have some sort of power assist,
Yeah.
whether it's a smart drive, the Navi one, emotions,
Absolutely.
whatever. Save your energy and your body for a long life to do the things that you love. That is my
Absolutely. Yeah.
advice from having been
And
in
if
a
you're
chair.
traveling, the smart drive can just go in the overhead.
Yep.
Thank God I've got it because this particular hotel is under construction and you have to detour around
Oh God.
tons of carpet, huge long hallways, and it's all carpet. And of course, it's a hotel, so it's nice thick carpet.
Oh,
And if I didn't
Yeah.
have the smart drive and I've already got a shredded shoulder, I would not be a happy camper.
Yeah.
no.
So
Carpet is hell. Carpet is
Hey,
my
carpet
hell.
is hell.
carpet is hell.
And the more plush, the harder it is to get through it.
Well,
Yeah,
there's your
everything should
note.
be
There's your
hardwood or
newbie note,
tile.
Paul. Paul is
Absolutely.
warned right now. Carpet is hell.
Carpet is
Or
hell, and
leave a path. Leave a path, a hard surface path, you know?
yeah, but carpet is also ucky. I don't. No matter how
Yeah.
much you clean it, it doesn't get
Yeah.
clean. So let's just be
Yeah.
honest. Hard surfaces are better for everybody, and cleaner, and
Yeah.
healthier, and less uck. So I keep looking
Yeah.
out because my dog is outside, and he is notorious for eating crap that he's not supposed to. Not
Oh,
crap,
God.
literal, but like wood chips
Stuffy
or
vibes.
something else. Yeah, he does. He actually doesn't eat dog poop, which is great.
No.
He chews on stuff, and then it's not so good. And I let him go out. We had a cat adopt us. We have a stray that has decided to come live at our house. So they
Hey, have
play
you girls
together,
ever had a service animal?
Great.
huh?
Have you ever had a service animal?
Yes,
Anybody?
my
Anybody?
dog is a service animal now. He's trained to
Hmm.
be a service animal. He's really good
Oh,
when he's
great.
working.
So
Good.
did you
And
train
it
him
is
or did you
another
go to
level,
a
though. It's another level of concern when you're traveling, right? So he's gone to Reno with me. He's gone to Vegas with
Hmm.
me. He's traveled long distances with me. He's been on an airplane. He's gone to the Pantages, goes to dinners and restaurants. We're
Oh,
going to New
great.
York. I'm a little concerned about New York because it's not, I mean, the hotels are, they're big, tall buildings. So got to go down the elevator and go out. And is
Yeah.
there anywhere to really go? I mean, you're right on the street, whereas hotels and other places, you're in the parking lot. You can walk around the parking
Yeah.
lot and go. And
Little
so,
place. Yeah.
Marianne has a wonderful service dog. What kind of dog do you have, Marianne? I mean, she
what kind
can't
of
say
dog
it.
do you have, Ellen?
My dog is a little dog, so he's a medical service dog. He actually helps with dysreflexia. If I go into it, he can help calm me and keep me until I can figure out what the hell's going on, so I don't stroke out. Um,
Great.
yeah, he
That's
also
important.
does. He does like he nibbles on me to help me reduce stress and anxiety, and he will learn how. He's only a baby, so he's still learning, but he'll learn how to pick up stuff for me. So he's getting
Yeah.
to where he can pick up. He's still in the training. He's oh, you have a golden doodle, beautiful. He's 63% Chihuahua. He is
Hmm.
11% poodle, 9% rat terrier, 9% super
Mm.
mutt,
Wow.
and a bunch of other little things. And then he is 1.3% ancient wolf. So he's
Oh my
small.
goodness.
He's 8 pounds, but he does what I need him to do. And he's very well behaved in public. At home, he's a
Yeah,
little monkey,
that's
but
good.
he's good in public. He goes teaches with me, and he sits and does his thing, and he's fine. But it is another level of traveling that I'm concerned about. Like,
Yeah.
it's first of all, you have access for us, and then how are they going to handle the
And
dog?
absolutely.
Well, when I
Wow.
lived in New York, I wasn't in a wheelchair, but I did live with a dog. So going out every morning and every evening to walk the dog, and they've got trees and they've got dirt around the
So
trees,
that is
and
true.
everybody, that's where the dog goes, and then you pick up the poop and you throw it away. It's just the New York state of mind.
Way
All
to
right,
do it,
So
that's
right?
good to know.
don't worry about that part of it. Just make sure
That's
you
all
got the
important.
bag.
I do well.
Mhm.
I carry a million of those bags, and then I also
Mhm.
he's small enough to be on my lap. If it's too crowded, he just rides on my lap.
Oh, good.
When there's not a space to walk, so that's good. It is. He's probably playing with the stray cat. They like to hang out, but the stray cat's not a stray anymore. We got him a collar, and he goes into our. We enclosed a porch, so
Mhm.
like you said, construction when you're in a wheelchair. They were painting my
Mhm.
house, and everybody thought that leaving the boxes and crap that they moved from the side of the house at the bottom of the ramp was okay. I'm like,
Oh
Oh, great.
man.
think about this, folks. And they're like,
Did you just
There's
oh,
a
scratch
ramp
into
for a
the
reason. Yeah.
what the
Did
hell?
you did you did you use
You're
your chair
literally
like a
looking at.
bulldozer and move them?
Yeah, I just run them out. Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
chair as the tank. I just,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you get boxes
makes
in
a
the
great
house. You tip
bulldozer.
them over and you just
Just
Yes,
make sure you don't
absolutely.
get your toes in. I've done that before. Broken toes because I thought, my toes were back far enough.
You cleared.
uh,
Yeah.
Foot plate, not toes for your
Yeah.
bulldozer.
yes, you want the plate
Yeah.
to be bulldozing, not your feet, not your knees. It's got to be the chair that's doing it. That is one of the
Paul, are you
things.
listening? Are you taking notes, Paul?
Paul's
Don't
taking
poop
notes.
with your
Yeah.
toes.
I mean, we
I
got over
know
100
somebody who,
years of experience in a wheelchair. We can tell you the broken toes, don't put hot stuff on your lap, don't put a hot coffee between your legs.
the whole thing.
Even if you think it's just for a minute because you're going to get it to the counter, no, don't do it.
No, no, you'll
Yeah.
regret
And
it.
if you're busting your way through doors, heavy doors, yeah, make sure your feet are back far enough. I know somebody who broke his foot because he did that.
Oh, yeah. There's,
So,
there's
yeah. And,
and then
those glass doors and those heavy doors, yeah, you can't do
oh,
that.
drop it. What the hell is
Hey,
it?
do you
Yum.
guys wear a since we're talking about safety, do you guys wear a seatbelt in your
No,
chair?
I don't.
I
Come on.
don't
I
either.
After
No.
I fell out and broke my hip, I added a seatbelt to my manual chair,
Oh,
and I just put it on when I'm going outside. And
Yeah.
it
that's
actually saved me from catapulting out my chair a couple times.
Hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But I travel a lot, and in Houston, in Dallas, the sidewalks are. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, it makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Hmm.
I think Michelle, you said it though. When we're new and we haven't been in the chair a long time, so we sacrifice our bodies
Exactly.
to look as able-bodied or as normal as
Normal. Yeah.
possible. And then after you've been in the chair for a long time, you're like, screw that. I need to be safe so I can
Yeah.
move. I need to be comfortable. I'm not shoving my feet into those freaking tiny ass heels anymore that make me have dysreflexic sweats 20 minutes into them. Like, forget that.
I
Um,
know those shoes.
yeah, we've all worn them.
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
When I watch the Push Girls and I look at the shoes that the young ladies
Yeah.
wore on that, I'm like, yeah, you're not happy at the end of the day, your feet, but you look
No.
damn good.
Did
And
you
how about
finally kick the hills, Julienne?
I did,
Julienne.
but only
Yeah.
because my feet after 28 years have gotten wider, so
Uh-huh.
I'd have to buy new heels, and it's just yeah,
Forget.
yeah, it gets to the point of not worth it. But I did have a tip and trick if you want to wear high heels, and on a foot plate, you either have your choice of having them slide forward or slide backward. neither one of
Yeah.
which is really attractive. So I
Yeah.
took a length of extension cord, like phone cord or something, tied
Uh-huh.
it on one of the hangers, looped it under my heels, under the sole of the shoe, under the in front of the heel, tied it on the other side, and it keeps your feet in position when you're wearing
On
high heels.
play. Wow, very clever.
Pretty tricky. I'll have to try that when I wear heels again. I have the and if Sean or somebody can look it up because I can never remember the name of it when I have to go buy another one. But it was designed by a quad and it's padded and it goes on your metal foot plate and it fits in between it, but it's about 6 inches wide because I
Uh-huh.
have sensation in my feet. Shoes really like my feet are hypersensitive and they feel like they're
Yeah.
trapped. I hate it. So I
Yeah.
often just wear foot jewelry that looks like sandals if it's,
Oh.
in cold weather, I have soleless like leather shoes and stuff. But this is an amazing thing for anybody. It's padded. It covers the whole footrest, so your toes don't stick over, and you
Oh,
can slide your feet
okay.
back. And it is designed by a quad. I found it at the Christopher Reeves Christmas list thing, like things to get for Christmas for people,
Oh, yeah.
and it was on there, so it was amazing. If I can find the name, I will pop it on to something. But
Mm-hmm.
it is an incredible thing. And
Yeah.
the last time I bought two, and they're like, you only need one. It's not for each. I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah,
buying two, so I have an extra one when I wear this one out because I
that's
do
true.
wear it out all the time. But an amazing thing. And that high heel tip makes sense that if you had a little cord on the, behind the footrest, it would hold those heels
Mm-hmm.
right up and you would get that heel look because I end up with mine going past the foot plate. I just put my feet all the way back. And then it's
Yeah.
like, well, then what is this point of heels? You can't
Yeah.
even see them. So why
Yeah.
Props to
bother?
my late husband. He invented that for me because he loved me in high heels.
Oh,
So
very nice.
that's
Very
that's a
nice.
Dan invention. How
Yeah.
long ago did you buy that, Ellen? Do you think it's still being
Oh yeah,
manufactured?
I,
Because it
I
sounds
bought I
wonderful.
bought one last year. I just bought two of them last year so they're
Okay.
still out there. Yeah, I mean I've
Oh,
had them off and on for the last. I mean I've had them not off and on. I've had them. I bought 4 or 5 of them in the last 8 years, and the most recent was just a year ago or so because I wanted mine was getting ratty before I was doing
mm-hmm.
an event, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want
Yeah.
it starts to get chips in it and everything else that
Yeah.
our
But
chairs
it's
get chipped.
also good for the summer, so your
Oh,
foot
it's
plate
so good for
doesn't
the summer.
overheat. Yeah,
Well, and when you're
absolutely.
showering, right? It's also really good. So when you get out of the shower and your foot doesn't slip back now. So you know how your
Mm-hmm.
foot can slip back and get caught behind the foot plate. It stops your foot from
Yeah.
sliding back. Because I don't know if y'all ever did that before, where your foot is behind the plate. Now you got to bend your leg in some weird way to try to get the foot out without ripping the foot off or a toe off. And
Or
Mm-hmm.
run over your own feet. I've done that
run over your
plenty of
own
times.
feet. Been there, done that. Yeah, you do that.
Mhm.
I think that's this is, and we're talking about bitching a little bit and I noticed that especially since I'm older in a wheelchair, anytime I stop to get something out from underneath my chair or I look like I'm doing something, I get stressed. Do you need help with this? I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Would you stop any other woman looking through a purse or something like
Right?
and ask them if they need help? Stop. Like I can no, I mean I think people are trying to be nice, but it's a little patronizing and like seriously, if I did need help, I would ask for it. But I feel that now that I'm older and in
Yeah.
a wheelchair, people see me as that ableism is magnified now by ageism.
Mm,
So it's ableism and
great.
ageism squared, and it's like, really, I will run your
One
ass
more
over.
bias against us.
Yes.
But when
Yeah.
you really need somebody to help you, nope, they walk right
No,
by.
nobody's there. They walk right by. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was at the airport trying to juggle 2 suitcases and get to an Uber, and big, hefty guy, 30, walks straight on by me. I mean, not even 5 feet away. And
Yeah.
this lady comes all the way across the room to come over and say, "Do you need any help?"
Mm-hmm.
"Yes,
Yeah. There you
yes,
Yes, I
go.
you
do.
noticed.
Yeah.
You're awake."
One time, yeah. One time I got my front caster caught kind of going up a ramp. There was a gap. So I couldn't get my
Ooh,
wheel out of there and I'm pushing and it's like, and this guy kind of came walking by and I'm like, okay, thank God. And I asked him, excuse me, can you help me, get out of the hole here and push up? He said, no, thank you, and walked away.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
what is. I laughed at him because, are you kidding me?
I am
He
So
will
then he
stuck
burn in
with
invited
hell.
another group
Paul.
of guys to come, and they were so helpful. So it's like, really, asshole?
I did
Crazy.
that. Yeah, I was walking the dog and went over to clean up his poop in something, but it had sand, and so I was spinning out and I
Oh yeah.
couldn't get out of the sand. Luckily, I was looking for anyone. I'm like, yo, can you give me a hand? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I'm stuck in the sand. That's happened to
Oh,
me
great.
a
Yeah.
couple of times. Like, don't go into sand even with a power assist. If it's too
Oh
deep,
yeah.
you cannot get
Work.
out. Um, but thank you. They tried looking up the padded footrest. Designed by a quad. It was on the Christopher Reeves website. It's called
Yeah,
the, and
try
I,
the Christopher Reeve Christmas list from last
yeah,
year.
that
See if you
There
can
you
was
go.
find
4
it.
years ago, but it was on the Chris, and I would just put designed by a quad, and I bought it though, not this last time. I bought it from like a wheelchair, so a medical supply wheelchair place, like one of the big
Place.
ones that always comes up when you do it. But it's padded, it's square, it's got a sticky thing on the bottom, so it sticks to your foot plate. So
The place.
you
Yeah.
don't take it on and
We need,
off. Once it's on, you
we
sort of
need
have
them
no.
at the
Yeah.
expo, don't we?
They're great.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we really should.
I'm trying to
It
get
is a
more
great
Yeah.
small product
design.
at the expo, and at this show, we
I mean,
actually have
I
grabbers
look it up
for
like,
the
or will I
first
just
time.
go?
We've got grabbers. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Good.
Grabbers are
Really.
good, and I need a good new pair of reachers. My reachers don't
Hmm.
hold really good, so I'm worried about getting stuff like glass or
Yeah.
something going with them.
Well, shout out to a company called Helping Hands because they've got a grabber, and at the very end, it goes like this.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that's nice. I have to look at
Yeah, I
that.
It's
haven't tried
interesting.
it yet, but I've never seen one like that. So,
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
It makes a
there they
difference. Oh,
are.
if we're shouting out, I'm going to shout out to New Mobility. My New Mobility, their December issue is the last print issue. So if you haven't
Yeah.
checked out New Mobility, it's kind of it's the end of an era because New Mobility
Yeah.
started out as Spinal
Yeah.
Network. It was the guide. I mean, I don't know if y'all remember Spinal Network when it first came out. It had
Yeah.
all of that equipment in there. It had all of the
Mhm.
advice. It was the Bible for how to sort of deal with spinal cord injury and resources. And then it morphed into New Mobility Magazine. And this is their last print issue. But it is
Mhm.
my Greek story finally came out. So it's a
Great.
beautiful story on my Greek story. But they've also, I've been on the cover twice of New Mobility, and they've had amazing editors. So it's an incredible magazine. Even the digital copy has so much information you can find out about people, resources, products, events.
Yeah.
They really have it all. So it is one of those things I do look forward to monthly for looking for new events or finding out about new interesting things that people are doing. So I'm shouting out to New Mobility because it's been around a long time, and now it's
It really has. Yeah.
going away to the digital
And
age.
that's how I found out that the girl in the wheelchair in the movie of Wicked is actually a girl using a wheelchair. It was
Yes.
an article
Yeah.
in New Mobility.
Awesome. Yes. Nessa
Mhm.
Rose is really a real person that's using a wheelchair, which is very exciting. I'd like to see it. I mean, it's great because the character uses a wheelchair. So it's great that they cast an actress that
Yeah.
uses the wheelchair. But I'd like to see more roles of people, just the neighbor who happens to be in a wheelchair, or the bus driver who happens to have CP, or, just
Mhm.
secondary roles that just happen to be people with disabilities, so that we see more awareness, more
There's been an
ideas
article
out
about
there.
her. About
Pardon?
what there's been an article about her. They interviewed her, and she talked about the stupid shit that people tell her on set. And yeah.
Oh,
Because of her
I'm sure the
disability or
ableism in
what
Hollywood
she
is
needs, and I
so,
can't imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the tokenism, and then they operate from such a an uneducated. I mean, we don't teach ableism. We teach,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we don't teach enough, but we do talk about racism, we talk about sexism, we talk about homophobia, but ableism is, and
Ableism.
ableism
Yeah.
is the grandfather of all isms. Like, it is the
Yeah.
one that all isms are drawn from, because it is the
Mhm.
belief that there is a superior way to be, that walking,
To be
talking, seeing,
absolutely.
hearing is a superior way to be, and racism is based on that there's a superior way to be, and that is white, male, heterosexual. But it is drawn from the idea of ableism that there is a superior way to be, and so all other isms are derived from ableism, and ableism is a part of all other isms. And so it is amazing that we don't talk about it, and that many, even other marginalized groups, don't want to be seen as being disabled, right? Because being disabled is such at the bottom of the barrel in the hierarchy of life that it's so stigmatized. And so because of that stigmatized, people are either overly nice and patronizing, or they ignore, or, I mean, and so I think when people are dealing with injury, they're, you have to navigate the physical freaking aspect of it. But I think the attitudinal barriers, I mean, what is the dumbest thing somebody's ever said to you guys?
Oh my God.
About your disability?
Ooh. Oh, geez.
There's a long list.
Right, yeah, they're hard to come by now. It's like the one that I always hate. It's like, don't speed in here, blah blah blah.
Oh my God,
that is
free
so
parking,
annoying.
Free parking. If you go to Ensenada, we have a bet every time we do a cruise and go to Ensenada, how many times a shop person will say, "Come in, free parking, free parking." And if they say that to me, I will not go in their shop.
Yeah, you want to race? Yeah, you're going to get a speeding ticket. All of this.
All of that. Yeah.
When I was an able body, somehow, I didn't realize it until I got in a wheelchair, but somehow I had the impression that everybody in a wheelchair had been in a wheelchair from birth. I didn't realize I had thought that until I got in a wheelchair and went, how could I have been stupid?
Yes, we're born to
have that attitude, but I did. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So today,
until Expo,
there is one curb cut going into the building. A vendor is unloading his truck, blocking the entire curb cut. I just started to laugh. I had to laugh because when I was an able body, it would not have occurred to me to look for where a curb cut was. Now, given that it's a vendor at the Abilities Expo, but still, I try to give him a break. And he felt really, really stupid when I pointed it out and blamed it on his father.
They should. And you know what? The clincher is when they say, "Oh, I'm sorry." When they took the handicap bathroom stall or the blue lines or whatever.
Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm like, no, you're not. If you thought,
if you were sorry, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done it.
The best is when the people with the placard park in the crosshatch.
The blue. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because they're like, but I have my placard. And you're like, but the crosshatch is not a spot. Just because you have a placard and you're mobile, you don't realize that the crosshatch is the only freaking way I can get out of my fucking car. Excuse my French. Daruma, yes. Daruma with Toby and I forget the other gentleman. Again, incredible portrayal, not about the disability, but about the experience. If we can see more of those, and more directors and producers and writers with disabilities writing authentic stories. But yes, and Toby is amazing. Toby is an incredible actor and advocate and producer and I mean, he just is really making a huge difference, and it's incredible. I think the worst thing I get is, oh my God, if that happened to me, I'd kill myself.
Oh, that's so charming, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
I was back when I was after my wedding, and I was making pictures for the groom's, calendars for the back before, internet. You're going to Kinko's or whatever to make your pictures. I was doing a calendar. So here I am making calendars for my bridal party from the wedding of photos. And like, if that happened to me, I'd kill myself. I'm like, just got married, just seem to be in a happy state of my life. Maybe you should just do that now. Just, it's a horrible thing, but it's a horrible, but that is a horrible thing to say, right? I mean, absolutely, it's not, it's like you're telling me my life isn't worth living. And again, if you're a new injury or you're going through something and you're already feeling horrible, Like to have people say that to you is an awful thing. It's an
It
awful
is.
thing.
Absolutely.
I think that
Well,
is
it
an
just says so
awful.
much about them,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
It does say a lot
Yeah.
about
The
them,
correct
but
answer is
it
just,
is
I feel sorry
devastating
for them.
because
If that's
Yeah.
gratitude,
depression
I
is
feel
hard,
sorry.
right? I mean, depression is hard, and it does hit people because of the attitudes that the world has about it. And
Absolutely.
I think that that's another one. The free parking is horrible. The can I pray for you? And it comes from a
Oh,
good.
that's a great one. I'm okay, sure. Bye.
Pray that I win the lottery. If you're going to pray for me, can I
Yeah,
ask?
there you go.
Can I make a request of what you pray for? Because I
Well,
know, and
Absolutely.
I've had them lay on the hands, and
uh,
then after whatever it was, 10, 15 minutes, ask if I could stand up and walk.
Oh, great.
I
Yeah.
mean, they put all their chips in on that one, you
Yeah.
that was
know?
pretty
Hmm.
good. That
I'm
was pretty good.
sorry, I really
Man,
still
if you were like a walking quad, wouldn't that be the best to just
that
stand
would
up?
be really
Oh
good.
my God. Because I
Or if
know,
you
like
could just
Terry,
kick them, that would be good.
I can't walk, but look, I can
Oh, yeah,
kick.
there you go.
I can kick you.
Run the shins.
At least that's well-meaning,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to, the 17-year-old who comes out of the handicap stall and then, cops a tude with you. I just look at them and say, "Don't ever do that again."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
Sometimes
reason.
people yell at me.
Hmm.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
and people always telling you how much better you're doing. Or when
Oh,
are
yeah,
you
the
gonna get
experiences.
better? When are you gonna get better? Michelle, when are you
Hmm.
gonna get better?
All
Right?
right. I'm waiting. I'm
Better.
waiting for the day.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. When are you gonna get
No, no, no.
better?
The
I'm
correct
not
answer
sick.
is, "Better than this? Are you
Yeah,
mad?"
there you go.
The world can't handle me better. This is as good as it gets.
There you go.
It is a weird thing because they look at disability as a disease, and there's a
Yeah.
huge
Hmm.
difference between what is
Yeah.
disability and what is disease, right? Disease is something that you may get better from, you may not. I mean, cancer is a disease, but it's not
Mhm.
necessarily a disability. It can be disabling,
Yeah.
but
Now, at
but
least when kids make comments, sorry.
any difference is, we can fix it. And now it's getting
Yeah.
scary because they really almost can. We got exoskeletons, we
In
got
some
neuro,
cases, yeah.
but they did the neural sheath where, Elon Musk did do the implant of
Yeah.
a neural sheath on the brains. Yeah, there is no one better than the Golden Oldies because we've been through it all. We've
Oh,
seen it
man.
change. We've been through it all.
Tried out
But
the
Absolutely.
answers.
technology is change. I mean, we just had this in my class today about transhumanism, but they have implanted in a quadriplegic the first neuro sheath that allows him to move crap with his brain or to control the
Yeah.
computer with just his thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, with
That's
AI and with
amazing.
the new robotics, I mean, the
Hmm.
technology for amputees is incredible. I mean, even the smart drive and the power assists, like we have
Yeah.
become so. I mean, I would think that in ways, the wheelchair in and of itself is a sort of transhuman
Hmm.
component of how we
Yeah.
move our bodies now. Now it's
Hmm.
not in our bodies, but when they are able to do that, and will they do that, is, I mean, I love innovation because trust me, I love the hand controls. I love the power assist. I love
Yeah.
all of the innovations that make living with an impairment so
Absolutely.
much easier.
And that's
But
it. It's
then
the
when they
little
break, we're
things.
screwed.
The little
Your
things
battery
that
went
make our day lives better. That,
yes,
really makes a big difference. Yeah.
it does.
Absolutely.
And
And I'm
technology
learning
is
I'm
equalizing.
learning now from talking to clients that Medicare is paying for more of these. I just
Hmm.
found out that Medicare finally is paying for the iBot. I mean, how many decades have we been working on
Wow.
this? So now, insurance will pay for a wheelchair power chair that'll climb stairs. That's
Hmm.
Woo! And
groundbreaking.
now they pay for the power assist. They will pay for the power. Like
Yeah.
10 years ago, they wouldn't. They'd say, no, we'll get you a motorized chair. And you're like, I don't want the
Yeah.
motorized
Right.
chair. I just want the power assist. And the motorized chair is more expensive, but we'll pay for
Yeah.
that, but we won't pay for the power. Now they'll pay for the power assist. I mean, I think they're
Yeah.
realizing that innovation and technology can increase mobility and independence. But
Independence,
the other
absolutely.
thing is, I just spoke to the in-home supportive service social work, the entire social work conference, and tried to tell them, like, just because people can do something doesn't mean that they shouldn't have help to do those things. So, like,
Do
I
it.
can
Absolutely.
curl my hair, but if my hand slips and I drop that curling iron, you're now dealing with a third-degree burn on my lap. So
Yeah.
it's better off to have somebody help me with that if I'm
Do
not
it.
feeling up. And they're like, oh, we always ask people
Yeah.
what they can do, and then we don't give them hours for those things. I'm like,
For it.
simply because
Exactly.
they can do it, but it
Mm-hmm.
takes them 3 hours and risking their health and well-being doesn't mean that, just because they can doesn't mean they should be doing it. They should be
Yeah.
out going to school, dating, concerts, living their
Having
lives,
fun.
not just
Absolutely.
trying to get up and get
Yeah.
dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And
Yes, I
if
can
it's
do it.
something you can't do consistently every day, all day, then you
That's a
need
good
help,
point.
Yes.
and they need to give you hours to have somebody in those cases. It's like, yeah, I can do it in the morning, whatever it is every other day. But then if I get up and my hands are stiff and I can't do it, so
So what
I
do I
need help.
do if there's nobody there? Yeah. And trust me,
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
always something to help with. there's
Absolutely. Yeah.
always
Mhm.
something you can assist me with so that I can live my life and live it fully and not just try. Again, not spending all my energy just meeting my basic need activities of daily living. Like, I want to
Well, you
live.
know,
Mhm.
I want
you
to.
know how change happens. Change happens because you go and talk to IHSS. I mean, the reason Medicare started paying for standing chairs is because United Spinal lobbied for 10 years.
Yeah, that's
And
insane.
finally, I
Yeah.
mean, it takes forever to change the government, but
Yeah.
hey, something changed.
Yeah.
So just got to keep communicating and get out in front of people. I think the
Mhm.
more people see, well, like Toby in this movie, the more people
Mhm.
see that we are actually non-scary people,
Yeah.
then it helps counteract the ableism,
I
right?
think so.
Absolutely.
Little by little. And unfortunately, it takes a lot for people to actually see us. I mean, it's why I became Miss Wheelchair California, but the Miss Wheelchair America pageant's been going on for like 50 years, and it was the
Wow.
Really?
first I heard of it. So
Mhm.
it takes a lot of work and fighting and doing stuff for free
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of just
Yeah.
putting yourself out there. I think that that's, every day that you go out there and just live your life is a day that you're probably changing some attitude somewhere.
Absolutely.
But then there are days that you just I just reinforce the bitchy disabled person because I can't
There
take
you
it.
go.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God,
Okay.
he did not just say that to me. Or I just, inadvertently run them. This is my favorite thing, and this will happen. You run into somebody and they apologize to you. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I just ran
Yeah.
into you, and I did it on
Yeah.
purpose, but I'm glad you're sorry.
There you
Like,
go.
I don't generally inadvertently run over somebody or run into somebody.
Mhm.
But if I'm doing it, you probably pissed me off, and then you'll
Yeah.
just
If
apologize to me.
they cut you off, or they're blocking, or they're trying to
Yeah,
beat you, ahead of
yeah.
whatever, and you hit them, oh well.
Misstep in front of you, but
There
they'll
you go.
always 9 out of 10 times they'll apologize to you. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
But
you just got hit by a metal machine. It didn't hurt me at all.
yeah,
I think I just clipped your leg. You
there
have
you
to be
go.
the one that's in front. So if they accidentally
Yeah.
run into you, they're so freaked out that they've damaged you forever. And you're like, you
Mhm.
hit my wheelchair. I mean, it is part of
Yeah.
me, but it's got my metal exoskeleton. It doesn't hurt
Mhm.
me when
There you go. Yeah.
you
I
Or when
just I
mislead.
people
just
use your
usually say,
chair.
"That's okay, I couldn't feel it anyway," and
Yeah.
it gets a laugh out of them, and they're fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul,
It's
are you
like I was
taking
gonna say,
notes?
yeah. When people use your chair to help them get through something, I've had that. People, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna hang on to you so I can get across here. It's like, okay, it's like, and it's so personal when they touch your chair, that
It
to do
is.
something, and it feels like they're touching you, and then you're like, okay, what do you do?
You don't get this, well, or somebody just starts pushing you.
Yeah.
Oh, I
right? They
hate
just
that.
come up
Yeah.
behind you and you're like going up a curb cut. And yeah, it may look like I'm going slow, but they just start to push you. You're like, would you do that to someone? Would you just grab somebody
See?
going slow and throw them over your shoulder or start
Home over.
dragging
Yeah.
them up? You would never do that.
Yeah.
But they don't see the chair as being part of the individual. And it's like my
Yeah.
equipment is me and I
Yeah.
am my equipment. And if I wanted you to touch it, I would ask you
Yeah.
to touch it. Or they lean on it. They're in line. They just start to
Mhm.
lean on your chair.
There you go.
Little
Right.
kids,
Yeah.
I don't mind. Little kids just want to
Yeah.
push. They just see you
Yeah.
as a big, car. So if you're ever in
Exactly.
preschool,
Right.
parents are like, oh my God, don't, I'm like, it's okay. They're just little kids. All they see is
Yeah.
wheels and they just want to make them go. They're
Very cool.
not
Yeah.
operating out of any ableism until you start freaking out and then you freak them out. And now they're
Absolutely.
freaked out.
And they'll ask you the most clever questions too, little kids. And
They do.
I like it because you can tell that they're thinking about the situation, about the chair, about you when they ask those questions. They don't just blurt out, whatever, I've had people say, how come she gets to ride her bike in the mall? And all
I
the,
want one of
cute
those.
little clever things. And yeah, and then you get to talk to them or you smile at them and they absolutely just see you, or the
They
wheels.
love,
That's it.
yeah, they love my
Yeah.
my Scion. I want a car like that.
Ooh, yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
think
When they
little
see the
kids
lift,
are.
it's like, wow, it's so cool and all of that.
So what do you
So,
so what do you say when they say, "Why are you in the wheelchair?" When a little kid
This
asks
is
you
the
why you're in the
thing.
wheelchair.
The kids ask, "Why are you in a wheelchair?"
mhm,
Right? Adults ask, "What happened to you?"
Mhm.
exactly.
Which is a huge difference. Adults are personalizing like something's wrong with you. Something. Kids are like, "Why are you in that?"
Yeah.
I always tell
Mhm,
them my legs don't work because then
mhm.
they'll be like, and then they'll say, "Why don't
Oh,
your legs work?" And I go, "Well." And it used to be easier because I used to explain a phone cord. Like if you
yeah.
remember calling somebody on the phone, and if the cord is disconnected,
Yeah.
you can't make the call. So now we talk about the internet. When the internet doesn't work and you can't stream, right? So
Yeah.
my brain is the internet, and the connection is my spinal cord, but the
There you
the
go.
the internet it's down and it can't hear what the brain is saying, so my legs don't know
One,
what to do. They're like,
exactly.
oh, okay. Then they'll look at the legs and go, legs,
Yeah.
walk. I'm like, that's not how they hear. They can only hear through the internet. You can't. Now, can you yell at the
Absolutely.
internet and make it work? And if it's something they know and you can build on, then they're like, okay. But the next thing kids ask is like, can you read a book? Can you play with me? Can you they just want to know why you're different. And then they want to know
Yeah.
what you can do with them that's fun and interesting. And do you like what they like? And do you like this? They get over it really quickly. Adults want to know what happened to you. It's like
Mm-hmm.
rubbernecking, wanting to know your story, feeling they have the right to know your personal details. So
Yeah.
I know somebody in a
Exactly.
chair whose ex came, shot her, and then killed her new fiance, right? So it was a stalking situation.
Mm.
Imagine asking. So there are times when people ask me what happened and why I'm in the chair, and I
Mm-hmm.
will appropriate that story, and then I watch their face go.
Yeah.
Or yeah, my ex threw me out a window because we got in a fight. Thanks
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
bringing
Yeah.
that up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's
I
the thing
think
I
it's
tell people. You don't have to tell people the truth. You can make up
no
a story.
lie.
You
Every time,
choose
tell a different story.
you choose what you want to share with people or not.
I just
It
make up a
just
different story every time.
that's it.
Surfing,
Yeah.
skiing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Just
I
going
don't know.
back to how people respond to seeing us out and all of that. I mean, think back when we were first injured, Ellen. How many people did you run across in wheelchairs when you were shopping, when you were going to the movies? Not a whole lot.
No,
And now
they're not.
it's like, oh, you see all kinds of people going to dinner and going to movies, going to the theater, whatever it is that you do. And yeah, it's like people see you out there enjoying life and having fun and doing something normal for a change. I think it really does open their eyes that, we're living our best life,
We are living in
despite
yeah.
disability and
But
all of that.
everybody is dealing with. I mean, everybody experiences disability. We are all born disabled. We all rely on somebody else to feed us, clothe us, take care of us, and we're all
Mm-hmm.
gonna, in the end, unless robotics take over and they just put our consciousness into, you know, robots.
Yeah.
We are going to have disabling experiences. Our impairments are inevitable, and
Mhm.
I think if we just learn to adapt and adjust, it is so much easier to age. I think this is why sports stars have so much trouble and they retire and then come back and retire and come
Oh,
back,
yeah.
because their whole identity is this one aspect of who they
Thing.
are, as opposed to you're never going to always be 24 and at the peak of your game. You're
Yeah.
shifting and changing. And the one thing I think disability has taught me is that
Yeah.
flexibility
Yep.
in life, and that when
Absolutely.
horrible shit happens, and horrible shit happens a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
that you know, we have the perseverance and the skills to get through it.
Mhm.
And you know, it is not easy. I know both of you have been through, you know, difficult times and difficult
Yeah.
things, and yet, you know, you just move through it. Move
The
through it
fact
and
Some
that
of the
we
adapt.
always have to be the
Some of the
ones that
happiest people I
adapt.
know are people with disabilities because
Yeah.
Yes.
we've realized what's important and the whole don't sweat the small stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I was a part of a think tank couple of years ago. So they were asking the opinions of several of us who were wheelchair levels users, sorry. And after, we would have little breaks and we'd all be talking amongst ourselves and laughing at just whatever stuff we ran into and all of that. And this gentleman made a comment and he's like, that was after griping, about all the different things we deal with and all of that. And he's like, I see you guys are all having so much fun and you're laughing in spite of all this stuff that's happened. And I told him, I said, the fact is, we are the ones who are always having to adapt to the situation, to, whatever is presented to ourselves, not the person who caused it or not the place that we're at. And if we spend our whole lives bitter and pissed off because this isn't accessible and this is this and this is that, I said we'd be miserable. So, we know already what we have to deal with and we deal with it and adapt. And then we move on with our lives and we have
Yeah.
fun. We talk, we laugh, it's like, yeah, it just, oh my God. Yeah. And you would go insane constantly thinking about everything that's wrong
But
in this
yeah,
world,
and to add that, to end on a really high, like my students, because we talk about sexuality, and I say people with disabilities that come to terms with their bodies have better sex lives. We actually really do, folks, because
Yeah.
we don't go by the script of insert A into B to achieve O, right? Because our bodies may not work that way. We
Yeah.
actually have to communicate about what works, what feels good. We actually have to have the conversations that so many people who are
Yeah.
engaging in sex do not have. They're
Mm-hmm.
following the script that they saw on General
It's
Hospital and
whatever.
expecting it to be what it is, and we're like, oh no, it can be
Yeah.
Sorry,
whatever
that was
we
Grey's
all
Anatomy, I
decide it
think.
to
I know.
be, right? It can be as small as holding hands, as much as
Yeah.
swinging on chandeliers, but we have to talk about what works and what doesn't work, which makes it
Mm-hmm.
what it is, a form of communication,
Yeah.
right? And it's intimate. And so I think what having an acquiring an impairment or living with an impairment teaches you is that there
Yeah.
is no right way to be. There is no one way to be. There
Yeah.
is what it is, and you do with what you have, and you
Yeah.
make the best out of it. And that's
And
how
it's
you really
more
see it.
Constantly,
intimate. It's more
Yes,
intimate because your partner is taking you into consideration. What
yes,
feels good to you, what works for you, not what works for me. I'm going to do
yeah,
whatever I want. You're just laying
right.
there. Well, that's not how it works.
No,
It's
it's
like,
not how it
I
works.
have needs, I have wants, and we can figure out how to make it work. And it,
And you have
you
to
do.
talk. So I think that
Absolutely.
life, when you have the conversations, when you come to terms that I mean, again, my favorite quote from my class is, "We are all freaks. We all have messed up bodies, right? There is
Same.
no thing called normal. Like we
Yeah.
all, and if we can accept the fact that we are all diverse and different and communicate those differences, we live
Absolutely.
so much more fully and so much more
mhm,
authentically. And that is my
Absolutely.
wish for everybody for the new year, is just, you know,
Absolutely.
this
to be a
idea of
freak.
normal, to be a freak, to be your own freak, because this idea of normal is just pushed by the consumerism to make
Yeah.
you want to buy stuff, to do stuff, to be
Everything.
like
Be
everybody else.
normal.
Just be yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all about being normal. There is no
Yeah.
normal. We're all freaks
There's
and
no
it just
normal, but
crazy.
everybody's trying to be it.
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
there is no normal.
Whereas what have we learned? To adapt. No matter
Yes.
That's
what
right.
the universe throws at you, you
Yeah.
adapt to the next
And
thing.
they're chasing something that isn't, you
Yeah.
know, that, what does it
but
mean to be
but
normal? There is no normal, as you
There is.
say, as
There
a
is
lot of
opposed
money is
to
spent on it.
us
Yes.
knowing what we have to deal with, what our limitations are, and all of that, and still moving forth and doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
not chasing that
Absolutely.
false image. Yeah.
No, that false image, that false idea of what is the right relationship, what is the right marriage, what is the right, like, you have to just adapt and what is right for you. Unless you're a
Yeah.
serial killer, and then no.
Yeah.
Okay, if
Yeah.
you're a serial, that's my line. If
That-
you're a serial killer,
yeah.
you don't get to say, but this is
Absolutely.
right for me because you're hurting other people. So, what is
Yeah.
right for you without hurting other people?
Okay.
That's my
Yeah.
disclaimer
Okay.
about
I know
being more
we're gonna have to wrap up soon here, but just a little message I like to share with people before the holidays and all of that. If you know somebody that's not out and about, not going to parties, not partaking in any of the festivities or whatever it is, give them a call. They would really appreciate to hear from you, or send them a Christmas card or a little note that just says, "I'm thinking of you," you know? So and I think it'll make you feel much better when you're reaching out to somebody and you're giving of your time and of yourself to see how they're doing. All right?
absolutely.
Excellent.
What a great way.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to close the show, Julienne?
Well, we'll see you we're wrapping up 2024.
Yeah.
Whether it's been a good or a challenging year for you, we're wrapping this up.
Yeah.
And we will see you again the first Thursday in 2025.
Yeah.
We appear in front of you thanks to the mobility professionals and urology professionals. Don Woods and his gang over there are just the
Great.
best. There are no assholes among them. They are all nice people. So call them, and you need durable medical equipment, you need catheters, you need wheelchairs. Give these guys a call. I work with them
Absolutely.
myself, and I love them dearly.
Thanks,
And we'll see
guys,
you
guys and
first
gals.
Thursday, January 2025 at 3 o'clock Pacific.
Yes. All
All
right,
right.
guys. Happy
Thanks,
holidays.
everybody.
Be well.